Hi everyone, welcome back to a new post today, and let's continue our TSPSC current affairs, not exactly current affairs, but one more important issue with regard to agriculture and allied sectors. A very important step taken by the state of Telangana, which is the very first in the country once again bringing up a crop diversification index. So this is the first state in the country which has its own crop diversification index, which will help the agriculture state of Telangana and also the farmers not only to diversify, to protect the ecology and environment, but also to increase the income of the farmers. Doubling the income of the farmers is one of the goals of agriculture, especially with regard to Government of India. And Government of India has taken a number of steps with regard to doubling of income of farmers. One way to double the income of the farmers is to have a very good agriculture and allied activities along with growing of crops and farming. And apart from that, crop diversification. Let's have a quick review about this issue with regard to Telangana and what exactly is the crop diversification index and what exactly it says about Telangana state. So in the past 5 decades, we already know that during independence, we were a agriculture deficit country, we were a food deficit country, but because of the blessings of Green Revolution, we have become a surplus country. And now recently also, India is achieving many feats with regard to agriculture. We are deficient in certain products like your oil seeds, pulses, etc. But with regard to food grains, India is now seen as the granary of the world. Let's have some quick insights regarding this. So, in the 5 decades or so, increasing the main goal of the government was to increase production, but now we already have very good production, and now the government is focusing on crop diversification and also with regard to mitigation of agriculture problems with regard to climate change. So this is, and also with regard to growing a population, we also have the problem of less land resources because there is a competition between the development projects and also the agriculture need for land as well. Apart from that, we have a lot of wasteland in the country as well. So there are many challenges with regard to agriculture. One of them is now crop diversification to increase the income of the farmers and also to increase the grain basket and the food basket in the country to be less dependent on imports as well. So in the past 5 decades or so, increasing agriculture production and food security was one of the main concerns for agriculture development. I told you, because we were a food deficit country. To great satisfaction, now Indian farmers, with the help of the scientists, agriculture scientists and the government policy makers, could achieve this feat of increasing food production with the blessings of Green Revolution. And now we have something called as Rainbow Revolution going on in the country. The government is also planning for a second Green Revolution in the northeastern states. Now this sought to bring smiles to face of millions of Indians, but also established India as a self-sufficient country in agriculture and also facelifting of Indian agriculture in the world map, making it a granary of the world. These strategies now have increased involved in increase in productivity through better crop production technologies, varieties, HYV feeds, seeds, irrigation, fertilizers, certain BT crops like BT cotton, etc. It showed an increase in the food production and also the raw material base for food processing and various other industries. Now this is like almost a 45% increase in food production, which has made India not only food self-sufficient but also a net food exporting country. We are exporting a lot of agriculture goods. Now most importantly, during the last half century, India's food production multiplied 3.7-fold according to the government data. However, the strategies could not recognize the need to raise the farmers' income. Somewhere or the other, there was a backdrop in the farmers' income. This was not increasing, and there was no direct relation to promote the farmers' welfare. Now the aim of the crop diversification is to increase the farmers' income, I told you, and other being the allied activities. So it is to increase the crop portfolio so that the farmers are not dependent only on one single crop to generate their income. When the farmers go for single cropping, that they are growing, because such as monocropping, which is called as mono. So crop diversification includes adding new varieties. Agriculture crop diversification is a very important stress relieving operation for economic growth of the farming community. Crop diversification in the first Green Revolution, such as Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, seemed at that time the need of the hour. Now crop diversification refers to addition of new crops or cropping systems to the agriculture production on a particular farm, taking into account different returns from the value value added crops with complementary marketing opportunities. Now, crop diversification and inclusion of new varieties was one of the most important technologies in increasing the farmers' income to a certain extent, if not at least to double. The main aim of crop diversification is to increase the crop portfolio such as the farmers is not dependent on a single crop for generation of their income. When farmers go for a single crop or monocropping like rice, wheat, sugarcane, etc., they are actually exposed to the high risks of unforeseen climatic events, also price instability. It impacts agriculture production in the long run. There is emergence of pests and sudden onset of frost and drought. Introducing therefore a range of varieties will lead to dealing with all these problems. And one of the major benefits is India has a variety of agroecological areas where diversification and also multi-cropping is very much possible in India because of the varied landforms and also the soil systems along with varied climatic regions as well. Now, the introduction of new cultivated species and improved varieties of crop is a technology aimed at enhancing the plant productivity, quality, health, nutritional value, and also building crop resilience to diseases, pest organisms, and environmental stresses. So, multi-cropping will have all of these benefits. They not only help in keeping away pests, but they also help in enriching the soil and also doubling the farmer's income at the same time. It reduces the risk of also a total crop failure and also provides an alternative mean for generating income to the farmers, as different crops will respond to different climatic scenarios in different ways. Now, the major aim for the state of Telangana to bring up this crop diversification index was when it was in tussle with the center with regard to the procurement of rice from the farmers of Telangana, which did not happen on a very good note, and therefore there was many agriculture scientists that were telling the state of Telangana to diversify the crop so that there is no situation that it faced the next time once again with regard to procurement of the crop from the farmers. Now, what does crop diversification mean? I've already told you in very few words what it exactly means, but it also means growing more than one crop in an area. Diversification is accomplished by adding new crop species or new varieties or by changing the cropping system currently that is in use. Crop diversification is of two types. You have horizontal diversification and vertical diversification as well. Let's move on to the crop and diversification index. Now, the base value of the crop diversification index by Telangana government is 1, which represents the percentage of the total farm land devoted to a single crop. When the index value is greater, it means that the crops are more diverse. The current crop diversity index is based on the area under 77 various crops farmed in the state, including all food, non-food, cash crops and also floriculture. Many districts in the Telangana state have the index scores ranging from 0 to 5. The crop diversification index therefore will act as a benchmark for the future of crop diversification efforts in the state, and there is also a discussion and the theory going around that even India should adopt a crop diversification index on lines of the state of Telangana. So this will be the first example for other states to adopt a crop diversification index. Telangana grows. What are the observations now made in the crop diversification index? Quickly, Telangana grows 77 different crop varieties according to the crop diversification index. Number 2, only 10 crops, mainly grains, are favored among the diversity of 77 crops. So we can look at the monocropping in the state that's happening. Nirmal, Vikarabad, Sangareddy are the top 3 districts in terms of agriculture diversification. In terms of agriculture diversification, Peddapalli, Karimnagar and Suryapet are the worst 3 districts. Maize cropping has fallen dramatically in the current certain regions where paddy is largely cultivated, whereas the cotton crop has been expanded in the state. Telangana's most popular crops are paddy, maize, legume, wheat, jowar, bajra, chilies, etc., and are high priority crops for the farmers in the state. The present crop diversification index indicates that the crop diversity is more important in Telangana in order to achieve sustainable development of the farm income and also agriculture as well. Paddy, maize and pulses are the most preferred crops in the Telangana. This is what the index tells us. Other high priority crops for the farmers are wheat, jowar, bajra and chilies. Many districts in the state have values from 0 to 5. The higher score, the greater the agriculture diversification. How will the crop diversification actually benefit? According to the state officials, its score will serve as a benchmark for future agriculture diversification in the state. It will protect the farmers' income, help to increase their income and also protect the environment and also the agriculture cropping from pests and other diseases as well. It will be a security for the farmers in case if that particular season's crop has failed. The crop diversification index value demonstrate that there is a greater need for the diversification of crops in Telangana to achieve sustainable development. So if we look at the 10 top districts with regard to the value of crop diversification, I told you the index value is 1 and 0.8 is Nirmal, 0.78 is Vikarabad, 0.76 is Sangareddy, 0.75 is Rangareddy, 0.74 is Jogalamba, 0.71 is Warangal Rural, 0.71 again is Narayanpet, 0.69 is Mehboob Nagar, 0.68 is Nagar Karnool, 0.68 is Khammam and 0.66 is Kamareddy. So this is the data about the crop diversification index. Definitely a very important topic to follow from agriculture and allied activities point of view. And I shall see you in my next post. Until then, happy learning.